This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco. The sun is shining in Belfast today, but not as shining as much as Conor Quinn. How are you, mate?
I'm buzzing, mate. Like you says there, the sun's shining, but geez, if it was snowing, I'd still be sitting here with the sunglasses on, as happy as Larry.
I guess it's a massive relief. I've sort of spoke to you quite a bit over the last couple of years, but what's been going on over the last couple of years? I guess probably there's maybe some things you can say, sort of, and some you can't. But what's actually kept you out of the ring the last couple of years?
Well, like you says there, mate, there's things I can say and things I can't, and not even because I'm trying to hide it, because I don't know. For the past 2 years there, I've just been trying to get my medical sorted, my licence, and I come home from Australia over 2 years ago now, I think, and ready to go. You've seen, obviously, I'd signed my mark, I was ready to hit the ground running. And then from maybe 2 or 3 days after that, after I announced to sign my mark and after we'd actually got fights organised for that weekend, I basically get told, your career's going to be put on pause here, if not ended, because your licence, there's issues with it. And to be honest, like it was new for everyone. It was new for me, it was new for Mark, it was new for Dee, because it never really happened before. And that's why maybe everything had taken so long, because you don't know what to do, where to go, who to see. And thankfully, mate, 2 years down the line and we're finally here. It's crazy. It still hasn't really hit me yet. Like the fight was announced, obviously, and people are texting me looking tickets, supporting, and it's just crazy. It's mad, mate. Absolutely mad.
Like, obviously I know I interviewed you about I think it was about February or so last year, and sort of you tried to start boxing at the age of 5. Boxing's been your life pretty much, and obviously for what you go through, and like you're 2-0, two knockouts obviously in Australia, and you were getting a lot of plaudits from Australia, and everybody's saying watch this kid and everything else. To come home obviously sort of with COVID and everything else, and then sort of the potential obviously you never been able to fight again. This obviously the last couple of years probably been very, very tough, and probably to be honest, you stayed positive, been in the gym every day. You might as well be a cleaner in Glen here, because you've always been in the gym. But obviously that last couple of years, I guess the relief now is the medical sorted and you get back to boxing.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Out in Australia, had a brilliant setup, brilliant team. Just, I loved every minute of it. And then I come home and things levelled up again. Signed with Mark, trained with Dee, and honestly, mate, I was on cloud 9. Like, at that time, I was just buzzing, and then all of a sudden, everything just hit rock bottom. And people think I'm crazy when I say this, but for 2 years there, I was just coming to the gym, training, going down training with Sean Crowe, my strength and conditioning coach, and then going home, spending time with my girlfriend and my family. But for 2 years, mate, my life just wasn't right. There was just something missing, not being able to fight, and it wasn't just a case of it'll come. Like, it was hard, mate, very, very hard, and thankfully I have great people around me, like my girlfriend and my family and my friends and Dee and Crow and Mark and my sponsors. Mate, to be honest, if they weren't with me throughout all that, I genuinely don't know what I would have done, because, like you said, from 6 years old, all I've known is boxing. I used to be going to school, training in the morning, going to school, coming home, training, going to bed, waking up the next day. I'd have fight dates 3 months down the line, and that's all I could think about was fighting. And like I said, from 6 years old, mate, that's nearly 20 years, and then it was all just taken away from you, and you don't even know why. So, people think I'm crazy when I say how much it meant to me, or just go and do this or do that, get a job. That's my whole life, just down the drain, you know what I mean? And like I said, if I didn't have my girlfriend and such a good family and friends and a team around me, mate, it's scary to think. I don't even like to think about it, because, I've always considered myself a very happy person, positive person, and it's because I've always had a good life. I've never really went through anything out of the ordinary, to be honest. You hear people telling stories about things I've went through, or I've always got it pretty handy, to be honest. And then when this hit me, it was just like jeepers. And it was only the past maybe 3 or 4 months that it really hit me, because I was starting to think, this is a year and a half down the line. Is it going to get any better? At the start, you've just got the positivity, and you said, it'll be okay. And then time's just passing, and I started to think, I always sit up at night with my girlfriend, and she would say to me, it's going to be okay. And thank God she did, because she'd be saying, just get up the next morning, go to training, come back, and we'll talk about it. And then I was doing that and getting the days in. And like I says, it just started to really drag on. And then, listen, I got the news the other day, came at the best time possible, and now I'm just absolutely buzzing.
I guess obviously it probably shows a testament to the sort of person you are. Like they raves about you day in day out. A lot of people rave about you, and sometimes people have a hype, but there's sort of no substance behind it. Does that sort of show the character of the person you are? That it's the never give up attitude. It's obviously all this hard work. I guess the positive you look at it is whenever you do step back in the ring again the 24th September, you've had that much training with D. You've had togetherness with the squad here in Glean as well. That it's probably going to, where Mark said when you'd signed with him was, we can fast track you very quickly. It can probably happen even quicker now.
Well, yeah, that's the way I look at it. Like I said to you there, just off camera, basically I've been showing up to work every single day for 2 years without getting paid. I always believed I had the talent. I always believed I was good enough to achieve what I want to achieve in the sport, become world champion, and like go even further than that. But like if you sat a lot of boxers down and says, right, you're not going to be able to fight for the next 2 years, don't know if you're ever going to be able to fight again, but I still want you to come to training twice a day, every single day. Like if I wasn't showing up to training, D and crew would be on to me. Like they're not going, she's not fighting, and I need people like that around me because they're just right. Like you says, there 2 years. I've been training for 2 years with no fight date in mind, just to be able to come up, learn off everyone else. Everyone else is in fight camp, maybe training for a specific opponent, someone that maybe I won't be fighting for 4 or 5 years, but I'm actually training for that level then because I'm learning off Paddy, I'm learning off Owen and Murph, everyone else. And I think it is, like I says, I think I've always had the talent, but I think this is maybe proving to everyone that I've got the dedication and the discipline, because if you can still come up and train while you're going through that, I think when I have a fight date, if I'm training twice a day when I'm told to comp box again, many times I'm going to be training now, do you know what I mean?
Funny, every time I've been up in the gym, obviously to do interviews and stuff with people, you're always the first one cut me and going, here you're interviewing today. You had that sort of keenness, the fact of it going, can I do one? And we'd sort of said until you'd sort of get it sorted, we wouldn't do an interview. And I guess, sort of come in here today and sort of, you're like, what's the crack? You just knew it was happening now, it's that sort of, as you said to me the other day, I feel like a kid at Christmas again, it's like, when you look at it now, is it a case of trying to make up for that lost time? Like obviously, is the plan going to alter in any way with Mark? Is it going to be, after a fight happens, right, Mark, give me another date. And to be fair, probably to Mark will probably do everything he can to get you as many fights as possible. How active do you want to be, obviously, once you get back in the ring on the 24th September?
Yes, like you says, I do want to make up for lost time, and I also want to give back to everyone that sort of helped me along the way. Like my major sponsor, Bobby Werman from Foscaf, he's actually based in Australia. He's been with me from day one as a professional boxer, and for 2 years there, he was the only reason I was able to train full time, because he was funding me to train, because he believes I can go to the top of the sport, and he stuck by me. But the likes of him, D, Crew, Mark, Peter Graham, and Mark McParlin, Pierce Tohill, my nutritionist, and all my other sponsors that have stuck by me this whole time. I now want to get out and say, right, I fought in the 24th, I want to fight in the 25th again, do you know what I mean? Like, and I know Mark's the best man for that, and to be honest, Mark could have me 5 fights from now until the 24th of September, only I want my homecoming to be my first fight back, because I think I owe it to everyone. Jessica, my family, friends, everyone deserves to be there ringside watching my first fight back, because they were with me this whole journey, and I just want to give back to everyone, to be honest, because like I says, without everyone around me, there's no way I'd be sitting here doing an interview with you now, mate, because I'd be away working a desk job or something, you know what I mean?
Obviously the plan, I think initially you had 2 fights to sort of flyweight. Is flyweight still, like you've been in pretty much camp? Obviously probably the only one other than you that's been in camp for probably so long, Sean McComb. Obviously he'd been in camp since January and finally got a fight and fought last weekend. Is the plan still, obviously I guess, when you probably have your first fight, you'll probably not be at flyweight, it'll probably just be above, but is the plan still to obviously campaign at flyweight?
Oh, definitely. Like he says, I didn't really do anything different over the past 2 years that I would, other than actually getting in the ring and fighting. So it's not as if I've ballooned up or my weight's changed or I've got bigger. Like, I'm the exact same, only better. So definitely flyweight. Obviously, like you say, it's a first fight. I'll maybe be a bit above you, get an allowance or whatever. But me and Mark's plan is to campaign a flyweight, and like he says, there's not many there. We can go through it pretty quickly. If all goes to plan, and then obviously down the line, then move up. All the weights are pretty similar: superfly, bantam. I want to do it all, mate. To be honest, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know you'd obviously said to us previously in another interview, and people can check out as well, is obviously you want to be a multiple weight world champion, but I guess it's always getting that planned to one first of all. Yeah. Obviously, is now the focus now you're going to become active again in box rec and everything else. Mm-hmm. Are you now looking at, potential opponents down the line? You're now starting to look probably more and go, who's fighting at flyweight this weekend that I can look at and start to put a target on their head?
But yeah, even when I wasn't boxing, I was doing that. I was watching the boxing on TV and then standing up, shadow boxing, saying this is what I would do against him, or this, and people are looking at me saying you're crazy. But I think, to be honest, from the level of experience that I've got in the amateurs and stuff, I don't see myself as a 2-0 pro. I think I am capable of moving a bit quicker than maybe someone else is a 2-0. But like he says, flyweight, some of the names are maybe 5-6-0, but they're also going to be fighting for world titles very soon. So yeah, any of them, to be honest, that's Mark's the best person there is for matchmaking and for managing a fighter and bringing them to the top. For instance, the other day, Mark sent me a potential opponent, and he sent me a video of him. He says, I think this would be a good opponent. What do you think? And I didn't even watch the video. I just said, yes, mate, no problem. And then it says the D, that's the opponent, and then D watched them. I trust them lads 100%. I will watch the video at some point, but I don't care, mate. I genuinely don't care. I don't care who I'm in the ring with on the 24th of September, as long as they're someone that's going to throw punches back, someone that's maybe going to open up a wee bit and give me the opportunities to show what I've been working on. Because, like I said, there is certain journeymen out there, and they'll just stand with their hands up. And sometimes you fight guys like that, and sometimes you don't know they're going to do that. But the guys Mark talks to me about, they're decent opponents, mate. And they'll bring out the best in me.
I guess probably more than anything, probably the last 2 years, frustration's always going to lead out to things. Is it probably maybe a case where you're sort of going, when I step foot in the ring, sort of hands down and let someone throw a punch just so he can feel it's like to get punched in the jaw again?
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Will all these things, I'll just be taking them in stride, because I want to take it all in again. This is like my professional debut all over again, and 2 years down the line, before my professional debut, I was fighting in the amateurs, so I was jumping in the ring. Obviously, first time was professional, but I was still fighting often enough. Whereas now, it feels like I haven't fought in so long, nearly 3 years for actual fighting. So I just can't wait to feel it. I feel it in sparring, obviously, but it's not the same, Or maybe I don't feel it in sparring. Who knows?
Obviously, sparring wise, it's probably more tough for you, because I can't even think of any active flyweights, or obviously sort of around that. Like you're sparring, obviously all the other guys in the gym who are quite a few weight classes above you, although Owen O'Neill obviously keeps headbutting you. But obviously, how's sparring going to sort of be getting sort of? Are you going to have to go away for sparring and things like that? Because who's flyweights around Ireland?
Well, yeah, probably will. I think there's a few. You can get the amateur lads. There's always good amateurs to spar. An amateur, you can maybe go up to featherweight in the amateurs, because they're not sitting as heavy. They're weighing in and fighting and weighing in and fighting. They're not maybe some featherweights as a professional might be coming down from maybe lightweight, super lightweight. But I'm sure D will work his magic. There'll be plenty of people to spar, and like you said, Owen O'Neill, he hits me the odd headbutt or two. But normally when we're sparring, Dale tell me, he says, right, you're sparring, he'll say to you, on you're shadow boxing. So that there tells the story of how that spar goes, do you know what I mean?
There's definitely plenty of banter between you both. I guess, the buzz in the stable is probably, it's a testament sort of to what's going on in Glean here. But over the last sort of 2 years, you've sort of been watching everybody else fight, and obviously Colin Murphy's obviously made his debut less than a year ago, and he's now 5-0 in the NBA Colleague champion. Owen's obviously about of his 9th fight. He says you're in his undercard.
Well, I think it's the other way around.
Paddy's obviously just in the crest of a wave, 4 straight knockouts, WBC International Silver champion, and I guess Lee Rees picked up his first belt as well. Are you looking forward now to, obviously you can get to the stage where you're going, where's my belt? I want my belt in the ring, because everybody else is starting to get belts. Owen's not too far away from a belt as well. Are you now sort of going, right, where's my belt? I need a belt in the gym.
Definitely. This is one of the first gyms that I've been in that it's the team. Boxing's not a team sport by any stretch of the imagination, but Like you see us often enough yourself, Morty, when we're in there working, everyone's just bringing each other on. Like Lee Reeves, brilliant boxer, he has a belt. Paddy McCrory, in my opinion, is world class. I know people say about how good he is, but I don't think he actually gets the credit he deserves ever, to be honest, because he keeps getting in and knocking these guys out, and people keep acting as if it's a shock. You're saying, Jesus, so Paddy's going to knock them out, and he's going to keep knocking them out until he comes up against a world class fighter, and they're fighting for a world class belt. You know what I mean? And even then, like, he's more than capable of bringing these titles home, and it's unbelievable to see. Owen O'Neill as well, mate. Like, Owen's 8-0, gonna be 9-0 on the 24th of September. But like you look at all them boys, Murph, they're all unbelievable boxers, but everyone is a different style of fighter. So you imagine, like, I'm in there for 2 years. Think of the many different training camps I went through just with them. So maybe it's only Paddy fighting, I'm doing training camp with Paddy, Tony Owen fighting, but I'm just learning a wee bit from every single one of them. So they're all world class fighters, world class potential fighters, and I'm getting a wee bit from every single one of them, and then adding that to my game. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. Like, I used to think, I like training on my own. I like doing my one-to-one sessions, and I still do every now and then. But I just love being around other world-class fighters, mate.
Obviously a 6-rounder, obviously on the 24th September. Probably a lot of people that have been fans and stuff, and obviously in the amateurs and things like that, it's been a long time since been able to see you in action. What can people expect from you on the 24th September?
Yeah, 6-rounder. So, like I said, it's going to be a decent opponent. It's going to be a good fight. What can you expect? Just a good performance. I'm hoping to show a wee bit of everything. I want to show my skill, I want to show my speed, my strength, my power, and just everything me and Dee's been working on. But I've said that all now. If I go in and you land a heavy shot, you can get someone out of there, I'll do that, and then I'll show up my next fight. You know what I mean?
I guess it's one of them. Sometimes you probably want a few rounds, probably more than anything. But I guess if an opportunity presents itself, you don't get paid overtime in boxing, so you might as well sort of go for it. And then I guess I say the plan just to sort of remain as active as possible. Like, the card's going to be in TG4 as well. Obviously, I believe it's going to be able to be picked up in the north. But for anybody, I know your tickets have been flying out. Is obviously Mark said you limiting tickets, or obviously is there going to be more there available for you?
No, well, they are flying out of it, and I've just been taking names from people, because you think 2 years everyone's been saying to me, let me know, and then they've all actually texted me straight away. They're not just saying it, they do want to go and watch. But actually, I'll say to Mark today about tickets, because there's not many, so I need to actually get a finalised number off Mark of what I can get in my hand, and then obviously get them out to people then. But yeah, it's brilliant, mate, on TV as well. So obviously a lot of friends and family I have in Australia and sponsors and stuff, they'll be able to watch it too. So it's just unbelievable, mate.
I guess it's creating that much of a demand now that obviously Mark will need to take it away from the Europe Hotel. Obviously, I think it's just 3 years past well since they had a card in the Ulster Hall. So I guess it's probably building to them moments of, right, Mark, we can't do the Europe Hotel, you don't have enough tickets for us, let's get us back to the Ulster Hall.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, every fighter Mark has now are real big ticket sellers as well, great fighters and also great ticket sellers, which is unbelievable. So I think now he's signing more fighters as well. I think what you're saying there is probably correct. He's maybe gonna say, right, maybe the Europa is not holding enough anymore, and then we can move on. But obviously, mate, I'm just delighted to be in the Europa anyway. I've watched Murph and I've watched Owen there recently, and I'm glad. For me personally, I'm glad it's in the Europa, because the last couple of fights I went down in the Europa, I was saying I can't wait to box here, and I just can't wait to walk out, and I can actually imagine fighting in the Europa Hotel because I've seen it recently. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, finally, I want to touch on the card at the weekend. Obviously, I know we've touched on Paddy and Murph, but obviously being in the SSE arena and obviously seeing the atmosphere and stuff that's created there, is it sort of giving you that sort of dream and inspiration that, being on a card, like I think there's maybe a potential of another card in November, December time as well, but sort of seeing that atmosphere, I guess, that probably sometimes you can miss because it's been more than 4 years since a big show there, but it's sort of giving you that dream and reality that it's getting close for you there as well.
Definitely. The SSE, mate, for me is probably the number one place I want to fight, to be honest. Like, obviously you want to fight in these different places in New York, Vegas, so everyone has their dreams, but for me, I would love to fight in the Odyssey. Like, the SSE, it's only 5 minutes away from my house, and even going down to the show there at the weekend, like, the amount of people that you bump into, that it just brings it back for you. Like, I was bumping into all my amateur teammates and all the, from the national team, and people maybe you're not going to see for another long time until the show's there again. It just brings everyone together, and it's amazing. And what a card it was. Well done to everyone who fought on it, and probably one of the best nights of boxing that Belfast has seen. Unbelievable.
I guess probably now more than anything, people may be asking you the weekend. You're sort of going to know it's sort of coming, but I guess now probably the most annoyingest question you've had is when are you going to be back. Now you can tell people 24th September, Conor Quinn is back.
Yeah, that's it. For a while there, if I was maybe walking through the town or walking around West Belfast and I was seeing people, I was keeping the head down trying to get past them because I didn't have an answer to the question. Whereas now I'll be introducing myself to people, say, listen, 24th of September, definitely, because people say, but is it really? This is it, finalised, definitely. Everyone can come and watch me. It's unbelievable.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time. We know you're going to start your second session of today, but obviously we'll look forward to Fight Week in Belfast, and we can't wait to see you get back in the action.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you.